So,
all right. So what we got?
So I think 2 weeks ago we had the idea of talking about Bead Lock tires.
Oh yes.
So what is Bead Locks?
Bead locks. So bead locks is where the bead of the tire is actually locked onto the wheel with multiple pieces. So the wheel itself is multiple pieces. So it has been seen on early Tamiya cars. They had bead locks, and then eventually they went for a lighter weight, so they were glued on. But bead locks are quite commonly used now for rock crawling.
That's right.
And also fifth scale, where there's a lot of power going through the tire, and you don't want the wheel to ever slip at all. So with glued on tires, there's chances that it'll peel off with these sort of forces. But with bead locks, no chance at all.
That's right.
It's clamped so tight and all around the bead that there's no chance of slippage or coming loose.
Absolutely. So this is a Traxxas TRX4. That's one of our cars here. And we have quite a few upgrades in it, including these Bead Lock wheels. So what we thought to do is to show how they're made and pretty much showing that they're not really difficult to actually put together. It takes a bit of patience, but once you understand how they work, they're not overly complicated. It's just a bit of a, something that is really hard, but once we show how it's done, it's actually not too bad. So just remove the wheels from the car. And you're gonna need a 2mm hacks to
Should we go with
jump
the
on top.
overhead?
There we go. All right.
Do a bit of zoomage.
Zoomage.
Is that the
zooming one? Yeah, that one there. Let's come down a little bit. Okay.
All right.
Right. So we got these 5 2mm screws. They're pretty much holding everything together. So we're gonna undo those.
Okay, so that locks it all together.
Yes. So we're gonna undo everything, show you all the components, and then trying to put them back together.
I guess it's really important with these particular tires too, because you've got the aftermarket super soft sweeps on it.
Yes.
That you'll see how there's super tread along the sides as well. So as you're going through the rocks, every part of this tire is going to be gripping on a rock. And if it wasn't on really tight, then it'll probably easily peel off the rim.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's quite a few manufacturers now that produce this type of tires for rock crawling. So we have some sweeps here. We have some Pitbull. We have some Otix Voodoo, which have been really popular recently. What else do we have? Some Proline actually as well. So I think we are almost ready to go here. So move these screws and we should be able to pull everything apart in a second. All right, so this should come up.
Okay, here you go.
Here we go. So here we go. So
all right, so you got a ring here.
That's the outer ring.
Okay. So that locks on the outside of the bead.
Okay, so you can see they're really sticky actually. So there's 3 parts essentially. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I guess the idea is that we're gonna clamp the rubber in between the rim and this ring. And so once you tie everything together with this part, you'll have 2 gaps here, one in here, one on this side, and then everything clamps together.
So it's holding it really tight because there's hardly any.
It's probably
gap there.
Couple of millimeter on each side.
Yeah, because when you have a look at the bead itself,
it's quite thick.
Yeah, so it's jamming that in there, and you can imagine that as it's attached, it's pulling like this.
That's right.
That's not going to come off.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty straightforward, simple design, I guess.
It's very simple and quite clever at the same time. In this case, we're actually stretching the tires. So these rims are 2.2.
Yep.
It's a bit bigger than the traditional 1.9 inches one, and these are traditionally 1.9.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Tires, and then sometimes can make it a little bit trickier to get started. But what everyone has got his own technique, but you put the ring in first.
So the ring goes inside.
That's what I like to do.
Yep.
Put the ring in, and then you start pushing one of the 2 rings in. So this side is good.
Yep.
And then here's where it gets a bit challenging. So you need to somehow manage to get the first screw in here, and that's where you need a bit of patience to make this all happen.
Oh, so you have to make sure the bead is inside.
That's right. Yes, you do that.
Because at the moment it wants to stay outside.
Yeah, but because we're stretching them, that's pretty normal because their rim is actually bigger than the
Yeah.
actual hole.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is you put the first screw in.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit hard to see on the top camera.
And that holds it together first.
And that's right. And then slowly
Yeah.
get everything else to go. And so you just tap it in and then slowly make it all kind of
All right.
fall into place. Like so. We go. This side seems to be happier, so we move on this side.
So you're trying to slowly convince it to go inside.
That's correct, yes. So sometimes you have to undo it, move it a little bit. It's a bit of a fiddly job. There we go. This way, I think it's better.
I guess you just take your time because this part's pretty important to make sure that the tyre.
So the first
stays
couple of are the difficult ones, and as
Yeah.
you go along, now let's see if you can show you. So what I like to do with your tool, you just push it in like this.
Yeah. So you're just pressing that bead into the
That's
edge
right.
of the rim. Oh, okay, it's in now.
Now
And
it's
then
in.
then you put in the next
Now
screw.
you press it in. I'm trying to do it away from my body because otherwise you can't see it on the camera, but I need to bring it back a moment, I think.
I might do some finger puppery to keep you
Here we go.
entertained.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
here we
managed
go.
to get this one to click in. Okay. And here's the challenge. We're going to do these things live.
Yep.
There we go. So stretch a little bit.
Yep.
And slowly go through them all.
Well, so far it hasn't been
Here we go.
really difficult.
Here we go. This third is in now. And the fourth one looks promising.
Oh, and as you see it, as you go around, it gets easier.
It definitely does. So we drive it, just make sure that the bead is in the right place.
Yep.
And here's the last one. And
I guess as you're screwing in, you're just making sure that the bead still guides.
Absolutely.
And it's not pinched.
absolutely. And so now you carry on and
Just make sure it's all seated well.
it's all
Yep.
seated well, as you can
Yep.
see, it's all in good position here.
Yep.
And you tighten every single bolt, you go slowly around them. And as you go through,
So you do
Yeah,
each
easy.
one a few threads at a time.
yeah, that's what you do. Otherwise, it goes in an angle and you risk to strip it because these are alloy rims. So you
Yep.
need to be quite gentle. If it's too tight, just go back a little bit and start again.
Mhm.
As you go through, we're mostly done. And we should be done in no time. And so this is a bead lock. So you can put bead locks on this lash as well.
Yep.
There's a few options there. And I can see here someone suggesting Vanquish as another manufacturer of wheels for
Bead locks.
bead locks. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they're
Yep.
really, really nice.
Right.
Bit pricey.
Yep.
But super nice.
Well, I guess nice
super
wheels
nice
are always pricey.
This specific one are a brand called Exo 4x4. As you can see, we're in business.
Yep.
So
Nice.
on the top camera again, so you can see.
Yep.
It's
That's
all
tight.
done nicely. And that was a few minutes of work. So it's not very difficult. It's harder to explain than to actually really do it.
Yeah.
But the result is phenomenal.
Yep.
And what I was going to show you is these wheels from Sweep actually. So these are
look at
also bead locks from Sweep, and I would say they're quite similar to some of the Vanquish that Chris was suggesting just a moment ago. This is a new release from Sweep. They released them, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, we've got a couple of different ones. One is a bit more silvery. The other one is a bit darker. I think this is a darker option.
I like the directional spoke.
Absolutely. But they do look really, really good, actually.
Hmm.
And as you can see, you put this on a car, they look fantastic.
Yeah, pretty bling.
Pretty blink.
Yeah.
And Vanquish has a huge range of all different ones.
Right.
Some of those are quite heavy. Some are a bit lighter. This one are halfway. This one are heavier, aren't quite heavy. Even though they're quite thin here, they're quite heavy. So that's important for a crawler. They give a bit more weight and keep the car stable.
Yep. More traction down low.
Absolutely. So, so this is a bead lock.
Nice.
I think it's something that if you have a crawler, you should attempt. Don't be scared. It takes a little bit of patience, and you can have a fantastic set of wheels.
That's
And
good.
I quite like when they're really tight. But if you go in water, don't get full of water.
Yep.
But that's an option as well. It's a plus. They're not watertight, but this in particular seems to keep the water out quite a bit.
Well, I guess there's like O-rings on each
Pretty
side,
much
isn't
so.
it?
Pretty much so. Yeah.
That's a lot simpler than I thought it would be.
Absolutely. Let's show them again up here.
There's the back end with the screws.
Yep.
And then
And
front end.
So I've been running these rims for a while, so they're a bit scratched up here. But they've seen quite a few different tires. I had said some RC 4-wheel drive ones before.
Right.
They were really nice, really grippy, but a bit too soft for my TRX4.
Right.
So they were kind of sitting very, very low. And so
these are really soft.
These are very soft, but they have like some quite good support on the carcass. So
you can feel it across here.
They hold the car up a little bit.
Yeah.
The insert is another interesting aspect on crawlers because you have dual stage insert, which means you have softer on the outside and harder on the inside, and they're designed for this heavier car. So you want to have the soft part, which gives you the grip, but at the same time you want to have support. Otherwise the car
so it doesn't go flat,
like having flat tires.
Yeah. Okay.
So here it is, Bead Locks, everyone.
Wow.
So we're gonna
good stuff.
If you have questions on Bead Locks, let us know. But it's definitely something that is not as hard as some may think, really.
Hmm.
So very good.